What's up, everybody? This is Jude from Section 122, ArgosOnZone.com, and it's playoff time. First round of the playoffs of the CFL 2015 season. As always, you can click the Show More button there on the YouTube channel to jump to the chapter you want to see, but let's get things rolling and see what the Argos got ahead of themselves this week. The Argos and Ticats face off for the fourth time this season, third time in Hamilton. And let's get the bad news out of the way first. The Argos were swept by the Ticats this year with the two games in Hamilton and the Labor Day rematch in Toronto. Argos were able to keep that game close at Rogers Centre, but were not really in the game for either of the two in Hamilton. You combine that with the two home games the Argos played in Hamilton, and they've never won at Tim Hortons Field, regardless of who their opponent is. So this is bad, all right? You combine that with an absolute wind tunnel they're going to be playing with in Hamilton and those really nasty Ticat fans, then this has the potential to be an awful time for the Argos. So let's talk about the good stuff, all right? So the good stuff being that Ricky Ray is healthy, and after 3 games this year, he's essentially got his preseason out of the way and should start finding his rhythm with the receivers and ready to just snap one off. Combine that with his connection with a healthy Chad Owens and the performance of the rookie receivers as they're all rounding into form, you got potential for a heck of an air show. Oh, and they've got one of the East's top running backs in Brandon Whitaker, which is no surprise, who's great at picking up blitzes in pass coverage, picking up the extra yards as a check down receiver, and can run the ball. Combine that with a healthy Chad Cacker, you got potential for a very, very balanced offense that the Hamilton have to deal with. Now, Hamilton's got one of the top defenses in the league as well. Their ability to capitalize on turnovers and score is scary, and you've got to be aware of Samori Lawrence at all times. This is going to be a very interesting game. This is one of those ones where you've got the two teams' strengths facing off against each other, and then it's probably going to really come down to the Argos' defense against the Hamilton offense, as Zach Collaros, as we all know, is out. So I believe Mazzoli has been named as the starter, who has never started a playoff game, and I think did he start last week? He may have no starts yet this year. So remember we're talking about Ricky Ray and his preseason type of end of the season? That's essentially what we're talking about here. Hamilton's got a ton of talent on offense, but if the guy taking the snap can't get into a rhythm, then they're going to have a very long day. But as I said, between the Hamilton special teams and defense have their ability to put points on the board, the Argos have got to make sure that they capitalize on every single opportunity they can generate this week. This is going to be fun. And again, both teams hate each other, and the fans hate each other, and it's in a really nasty little dirty town with way too many one-way streets. So what you've got is just a powder keg of excitement. And, well, heck, I mean, it's going to be fun. Who should you be keeping an eye on this week? Of course, one guy offense, one guy defense. Offense, I'm looking at Brandon Whitaker, specifically anybody at the running back position for the Argonauts. It was stated in an earlier article that the running game could be the key to this matchup. If Brandon Whitaker / Chad Cacker can pick up blitzes in pass coverage, can get those extra yards after catch in swing and screen passes, and run the ball effectively, then you've got a chance for an Argos win, creating that balance where the defenses can't be teeing off on Ricky Ray. The X factor in that, of course, is the Argos offensive line, which has had a lot of difficulty staying healthy this year with a rotating cast of characters at different positions. So if they can keep Ricky Ray upright with a balanced running attack, that's only going to bode well for the Argos. If you can keep Orlando Steinhauer guessing, this is a good thing. Anybody that's followed the Ticats for the last couple of years knows that Steinhauer is an amazing defensive coordinator who, frankly, is probably going to be a head coach somewhere next year. So if you can keep him guessing, keep him off balance where he can't just dictate the game, this is a good thing for the opposing team. So keep an eye on the Brandon Whitaker / Chad Cacker running back situation for the Argos this week. On defense, I'm looking at Cleon Lang, the Argos nominee for Defensive Player of the Year, who is just nasty mean in a good way. Has anybody ever seen Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee movie? Really early on, he's instructing this young student, and he explains to them that we want emotional content, not anger. Now, Lang will just be right on that line. And sometimes he crosses over, and that's where the mistakes make. That's where the penalties happen. So he's got to play with a lot of emotional content. And let's see if he can make things miserable for Mazzoli and that Ticats offense. The key, I think, is going to be in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So I'm keeping an eye on the running back situation for the Argos on offense. Clean Lang, your middle defensive lineman on defense. So, prediction time for this week's score. And, again, what you've got is that Argos offense against that Ticat defense just almost neutralizing each other. That's going to come down to special teams and when the Argos don't have the ball. So, it's difficult to kind of come up with a number to predict how things are going to play off. But I can hear what you're saying. But Jube, you say, you always calculate in terms of points for and against in the previous weeks, come up with a total there as a starting point. Yeah, but we're talking about the playoffs, man. Like as Chris German says, that's why they play the game. We have no idea what's going to happen. There's nothing we can go back to that's going to have any influence on what we're going to see today. So, rumor is it's really windy at Tim Hortons Field, which will usually lower the scoring because basically only one team can score per quarter. So I'm going to say that the Argos are going to grind out a victory 17-10. Yeah, it's not the score I want to give you. I mean, I want to see an air show. I want to see it just racked up with points. But based on the factors and the clutch and grab that can happen in the playoffs, that's probably what we're going to be going to get this time. That'll wrap things up for week 1 of the playoffs this year. Hope you had some fun. As always, comment down below, like, share, let's throw this video around. Follow us on our social media feeds. You know how it goes, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're looking at some others. Suggest us which one we should be on. Hey, what do you say? And yeah, if you're making the trip to Hamilton, bundle up. It's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. And wear some layers that you don't like on the outside because based on past experiences with Ticat fans, you're probably going to get stuff thrown at you. Be strong. Stay together. We're all in this together, right? 1 o'clock, TSN. If you can be in Hamilton, amazing. If you can be in Toronto, I believe Shoeless Joe's is doing their game thing again. If not, get some boys together, bar, the couch, and take this game in. Hey, tweet us as the game's going on. Some of us have to work today. Keep us all in the loop, alrighty? So, enjoy the game, and here's hoping we'll have another one for you next week. Until then, this is Jude from Section 122 at argosandtone.com, reminding you that we ride the rail, and we ride it hard.
Go Argos, go!